Less than 24 hours to the start of the 20th National Sports Festival. We're here to talk about it and a lot more on the show. Thanks for joining us. I'm Yemi Adebayo. The National Sports Festival will get our attention tonight. Of course, we'll also be looking at the bigger picture. That's the Tokyo Olympics, what's happening, the touch relay making rounds in cities in Japan. We'll talk about that as we go on the show as well. We will also spare a thought for handball. The handball league just concluded. We'll talk about that. We'll look at international sporting events. Something interesting is happening. It's part of things happening on the political scene. It appears North and South Korea might just be able to stage a sporting event together. That's if their bid for an Olympic event, it's the winning bid. We might see Seoul and Pyongyang stage a global sporting event together. But fingers crossed, we'll see what happens if that one sails through. We'll also talk about CAF, the official confirmation of when next year's Nations Cup will take place. Let's not forget that in 2022 as well, we also have the FIFA World Cup. A lot of things has been shifted, adjusted because of the disruption caused by COVID-19. That's the outlook of the show tonight. Before I introduce my partner tonight, let's quickly bring you into all that we're doing. Talk to us about some of the things I've already highlighted. Let us know how you feel. Talk to us on some things you feel is not getting talk time. You can guide us and direct us so that we can talk about some of those things you feel is worthy of talk time. Send us an email, sportstonight@channelcv.com, Facebook, Channel-Sports. Drop your comments on Twitter. Tweet at us, our channels_sports. The conversation never ends. Even when the show ends, we keep it going. We talk about everything sports. A lot of interesting things happening in your amazing world of sports. We're going to also talk about Cristiano Ronaldo and that handband, the captain's handband that will be going up for sale. We'll talk about that as well. North Macedonia pulled off biggest upset yesterday against Germany right there in Duisburg. 2-1. Of course, a lot of people talking about Timo Werner, what's happening to the German forward. A lot of interesting angles to look at. So talk to us on the show tonight. Let's keep it interesting. Let's make it a dialogue. Let's know what you feel. All right, so that's it. So let's have that conversation, talk to us. Let me quickly introduce my partner, Bolo Money. He joins me this evening, and we're going to be, of course, on this cruise together. Hopefully, we'll land the ship safely at the end of the trip. Bolo, thanks for joining me tonight.
Good to be here again. From the anger of not counting the goal to the vexation of throwing the handband away to trying to raise almost about $3 million for a sick child. I'm waiting for probably Ronaldo to decide to buy the handbag back. And you talked about the Euro. Yes, now the discussion of are there still minnows in football starts again, but I told them we saw 8-7, 14-0 over the... But it's been sort of interesting kind of weekend. It's better than not watching anything. Many will complain we don't like international, but tell them not to watch international. It's a lie. We will all watch. But again, another win for the Handball Federation. They started, the plan was there and they finished. But I like one part of a statement. This is not about the election. It's about following through what we have in the calendar.
All right, so that's it. Interesting. But that's not where we're going to start. We're going to start, obviously, with the big one, the elephant in the room. That's what we're going to address. National Sports Festival, less than 24 hours to it. We started our countdown on this show. Of course, we're going to have a full coverage of the National Sports Festival, barring any unforeseen circumstance. We hope it will go ahead. We've received assurance from the highest level that the sports festival is going to go ahead. As far from where we sit, that's what we believe. 24 hours. Before we take a look at reports put together on the teams in the states in the northwestern region of the country, I want to quickly ask Bolu, before we take a look at that report to see the preparations of states in that region, does it feel like 24 hours less than, does it, to you, as a sports journalist, looking at everything, a keen observer, do you have that feel? Do you get the vibes, like we say, of it being less than 24 hours?
It doesn't even look like a month away.
Wow.
Remember, the last few heavy reports we got were rumors of taking it to Abuja, someone that as usual,
Even though that has been quashed.
anonymous. Yeah, Shuaibu said he spoke with the minister and the PAMSEC, and he said there's nothing like that. To Edo State saying we don't have money yet. The money we're expecting, the federal government has not given and everything. But
they've signed everything that needs to be
signed. I like
their
confidence. They still kept it. Don't worry, it will happen. This event will. Well, that's what everyone wants. Let's just go on with this event. It may not be as professional in code as it was meant to be last year, but let's just run through these events. Those that will be lucky enough to qualify for the Olympic Games through the event will go, and the rest, well, see you next time.
Yeah, that's it. See you next time. All right, let's go now and take a look at states in that northwest region and take a look at how they're preparing for Nigeria's mini Olympics.
The Gigenya Memorial Stadium in Sokoto accommodates different training sections for the state athletes. Camping exercise for the National Sports Festival has been completed, and the state is confident of winning medals in the 12 sports it's featuring in.
So far, we have registered over 12 associations, which include judo. We are going to take part in judo. We are going to take part in table tennis, weightlifting, both the disabled and the para. We are also going to take part in wrestling, chess, badminton, and athletics.
Kaduna State is going to the competition with 256 athletes in 25 sports. The government says it's excited about participating in the Games as it hopes to win the right to host the next edition of the festival.
We desire to take a lot of our young boys and girls to Benin for the purpose of competition and for exposure. We like them to begin to feel how the national stage looks like so that they can become greater athletes and players in the near future. We as a government and our people are all happy, to go to Benin, and hopefully we will win the hosting right, and then again we will aggregate Nigeria and sports-loving fans across the continent and the world over in Kaduna in 2022, so that we can showcase the enormous investment that we have made in the area of sporting infrastructure, as well as general infrastructural development that is going on in the states.
Kano State government announces it's taken a large contingent of 204 athletes to the competition because it has provided funds for the athletes to step up their position on the overall medal table.
Yes, it's a huge number, taking into account the financial commitment in taking this number to Benin. But all the same, the state government has done so well by providing us with the logistics. And this is why the number is so large, because we are also carrying the burden of representing Northwest Zone in 5 team events, because we emerged as champions in basketball, male and female, handball, volleyball, and rugby.
Athletes in the Northwest region are confident the Games will draw the attention of the various governments to sports development in their states. All right,
the states in that region showing their state of readiness. We have a special guest waiting, on standby, waiting to join us. But I want to quickly ask Bolu, we're in Lagos. You probably heard some things. Any scoop? What have you been hearing? Or is it the same old story? The Lagos angle, is it the same old story we've been hearing? We're ready, we know what we're doing, all this kind of...
Well, Lagos has said over time that whenever it comes, they are ready. They've been preparing. I remember the last interview of the athletes I saw. They were, well, it's not the same as preparing and participating, but they are always ready. And the fact that they've been motivated, I think, yeah, they paid them today. The money, those that participated in 2018. Okay. So that one is enough motivation. That, okay, right, you are going for another one, then you have been paid your alliances. So I think they should do well at this event.
Okay, all right. So we'll leave it at that for now. Want to leave the National Sports Festival for a while and quickly touch base with basketball. Joining us on the show is former NBA star and entrepreneur Obinna Ekeze. He joins us on the show tonight. Obinna, greetings to you. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much. Nice to be on the show.
All right. I mean, there's something that has been in the news that a lot of people are happy about. I'm very sure you're happy as well. Talking about Africa's first basketball academy. We're going to talk about that and the role you're playing in that. But first, so that a lot of people can understand why we're having this conversation, let's start with your journey with basketball. Few people know that you are, well, a lot of people know that you're a former NBA star. But how did it all begin? Let's start from there. How did it all begin? You journey with basketball. Then, of course, we come back to talk about the big one.
Yeah, definitely. So I grew up in Port Harcourt. So my dad was oil and gas industry. Worked for Schlumberger, was managing director of Andre Schlumberger. So I grew up in Port Harcourt. I started playing the game around the age of 15. I grew about 6 inches between the age of 14 and 16. So obviously, I started getting very tall, and I was already playing football, playing tennis, and other sports. And once I started getting really tall, I picked up interest in basketball. And my dad had put in a satellite TV channel. I remember it was called Bob TV, and I was watching the game of Akeem Olajuwon. And I started watching his games and started practicing his moves. Asked my dad to put a basket in our house, and that's how I started playing. And then I joined, started playing some pickup games in the Officers Mess in Port Harcourt, and then also a Shell Club in Port Harcourt. So that's how my basketball career started. And eventually, I wanted to play in the US, so I eventually left for the US around the age of 18, where I went to, I got a partial scholarship to play at a school called Worcester Academy in Massachusetts. And there I was able to play about 2 years. Then I earned a scholarship to go to the University of Maryland, where I played about 4 years and also studied mechanical and business. And then I was drafted to the NBA in 1999.
All right, and just to add that you went on to play for the Washington Wizards, Los Angeles Clippers, just to name a few. Just to name a few. All right. So, all right. So, let's talk about this one, big one. A lot of people are happy. We're excited about it as well. Africa's first basketball academy. But the question will be, why Africa? Why Nigeria? I'm very sure you know the reason, but probably there'll be something at the back of your mind. I understand wanting to give back to where you came from, but then there probably will be other reasons, other things that motivated you.
So if you look at the history of African talent when you talk about talent that's gone from Africa to the NBA, Nigeria has produced more African talent than probably any other African country in the continent. So when you look at our population, over 200 million people, we have an abundance of talent, but the biggest issue has been infrastructure. Since I retired, even before I retired from basketball, I had a dream of building a basketball academy in Nigeria. That dream started around 2003, 2004 when I was playing for the Atlanta Hawks. And I actually came back and I bought a sizable piece of land in Port Harcourt. But when I retired in 2007, I came back to Nigeria with all the instability in the Port Harcourt area. I decided to settle down in Lagos. And then I founded a company called Wakana, where most people actually know me from my business career. So this has always been my first dream in terms of business, what I wanted to do. But so now I decided to invest and build this out in Lagos because I know definitely every day I see kids tall kids that want to play. I've had many encounters with kids that have gone to the US and not really gone to the proper developmental process like I did. Because I played through the whole process. I went to high school in the US, university, and then eventually the NBA. And then I also played in Europe. So I've been to the whole full gamut of developmental programs to get to the highest level. So I strongly felt that it was very important that we establish the infrastructure, not only the infrastructure, but the programming. So the Organized Basketball Network, which is what OBN means, we're not only focused on building infrastructure, we're also focused on making sure we build the programs. When you talk about the tournaments, the basketball camps, because I ran camps when I was still playing basketball in Nigeria, and it usually happens that I come back for the summer and do 1 week camps, and I go back. And this is happening many times with likes of my counterparts in the NBA, Olumide Oyedeji, my very good friend Masai Ujiri, and we always talk about this and that we need to establish a more consistent developmental plan. And the only way we could do it was to build the infrastructure, and which I've not been able to do. I've built a world-class infrastructure here at the academy with 700-seater arena, with the fitness center, health center, entertainment area, and a production studio where we can develop content, stream our games live online on our OBN channel, and then also with our broadcast partners. So I just wanted to establish this for the youth, and we're going to be focused on kids from ages 6 to 18, and getting them early and all of that. So that's the goal.
All right. Let me throw this in. There might be some kids listening to us and are like, oh, this is the opportunity that I've been waiting for. And they'll be wondering, how do I benefit from this? This is a 1 in a million chance of probably achieving my dreams, a step in the right direction. So to those kind of kids, what would you say to them? How can they benefit?
So our goal is to discover as many kids as possible. The infrastructure gap in Nigeria is actually very, very huge. So I anticipate that demand is going to be much more than what we can provide here at the center. So, but we'll do our best. The other things that we're going to use to also encourage people and also discover talent. I come from a technology background, so. In the next couple of months, we're going to be launching, aside from our physical camp, where kids can come in here, especially after school, or if they want, especially or they can come in during the holiday period, like the Easter period. We're launching the center formally on Monday, Easter Monday, and then from there we're going to start running our Easter promo camp for about a week, or then for at least for the 2 weeks that we're going to be the kids are going to be on holiday. But then they can run their sign up for their monthly package. But there are going to be a lot of kids that are not going to be able to come here physically. We're going to be launching our virtual camps in May. And the point there is to encourage kids to sign up and register for online virtual camps so they can actually play at home and join our after-school developmental programs. If you notice, a lot of schools, especially the private schools, do not have the infrastructure that it takes to develop basketball or even other sports in Nigeria. And that is a huge problem. So we're going to be partnering with schools, getting them to use our facilities, sign up for their programs. We want to also establish their basketball teams for those ones that are close to us here, and they can use our facilities. And we just want to create sustainable platforms for the youth programs and for the league, youth league, for the summer programs. We're going to be running our first OBN Hoop Summit this summer. We're going to be establishing between 40 and 52 youth teams, and that is to encourage talent and discovery, and then putting them in an organized basketball format, and where we can also have sponsors come and sponsor each of these teams, whether individuals, high-net individuals, or corporates. And we're going to make it probably the largest youth tournament that has been done in Nigeria in one location. So the point here I'm trying to make is that we need to invest in the young people. Yeah. Give them the opportunity to be able to explore their talents. If you look at the last 10 to 12 years, what's happened in the music industry in Nigeria with likes of Burna Boy and Wizkid and the rest of them. I remember when I first came back to Nigeria, and those young talents were not really yet in the pipeline or in the music scene. And today we have this artists, being at the best of completely best in the world and winning awards. So I strongly believe in the potential of the country and the talent that is here, and we're really making the strides to help harness them by investing in this infrastructure and the programming.
All right, we're just going to break right about now, but I want to keep you on. Just stand by and stay with us. We're going to break. We'll return to finish this conversation. We'll be having the conversation with former NBA star Obinna AKZ, and he's talking to us about a lot of things. His basketball academy. But we need to go on a break right about now. When we return from that break, we'll finish up that conversation. Of course, talk about some other interesting things in your amazing world of sports. All right, welcome back. We're going to continue with that conversation that we've been having with Obina AKZA, and he's still with us. Let's just go on and try to finish this conversation. Obina, I know you're still with us. Thanks for taking out time to be here with us tonight. Our party shots on the show tonight. I'm curious, and I want to know if, as you have started doing all this, have you received support or any contact from the, say, MBBF, sports ministry, or the authorities? I'm just curious, and I want to ask that.
Not yet, but I've gotten contact from the NBA. The NBA Africa team was here about 2 weeks ago for our open house. Was very good event. We had them tour the facilities, and they were really excited, and they're showing a lot of support. And it is only the beginning now. We're very early in the process, so I expect to have these conversations as we go along. I think everyone now is kind of focused on the sports festival. So we're here. We're continuing with the program, and we do expect that those conversations will happen sooner than later. But for now, we've just had conversations with the NBA, which is obviously I'm part of the family, so they came down to support one of their own, and we look forward to working with them in this grassroots developmental program.
All right, that would be a good place to leave it on the show tonight. Obina AKZA, I want to thank you for your time on the show. Hopefully we get to do this some other time.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's a former NBA star and entrepreneur, Obina AKZA. Touched up on a lot of things. A lot of people are excited. Africa's first basketball academy happening right here in Nigeria. I mean, things like this makes us happy, and it takes people who have been through the process to be able to be the bridge that a lot of these young kids will pass through to get to where they want to be.
Well, I think it's good I see lots of tall guys. I have a friend who is 6'7", and he will tell you he doesn't like basketball. My boss told him, it's because you are here.
Yeah.
Because Americans will tell you in the NBA, we can teach you everything, but we can't teach height. So if you have the height, you are naturally good. Then every other thing can come. So normally now, if I'm a guy of 6'5", 6'7", or even 7, I know there's a way for me now. Yeah. Just go there, learn the basics. Mm-hmm. This time it's bigger than the regular just playing
Get
basketball.
The exposure.
This one is well-trained coaches and everything. I think it's good for some guys. It means those basketball enthusiasts that believe, okay, I have what it takes, but I can't grow, now have even better opportunities of making it to the NBA. Who knows? We've heard different stories of the likes of Joel Embiid, who were just regular guys. Even Giannis Antetokounmpo, regular guys selling things on the street. Guy, you are tall enough. You can make it, and they are world stars now. So who knows? This could be the next best thing for many guys on the streets. You can play basketball. You can't play. You have the height. Go there and try your luck. Who knows? You may be Nigeria's best NBA star.
All right, so that's it. Opportunity for the next generation of stars to, show what they can do. All right, let's move from basketball to handball and talk about what's been going on at the handball championships. Good one for Lagos State. It seems that they have emerged winners of this year's National Handball Championship held at the Mobolaji Johnson Sports Complex in Yaba. Of course, Lagos, talking about Lagos State. There you have it. Let's just quickly, Bolu, let's run through the results. Under 18 girls, of course, you have Boko Volunteers and Bielsa, the girls from Bielsa, the team from Bielsa won 18-8. Let's look at under 18 boys. Lagos won by 33 points to 27. They defeated the Kings. The Kings in that one. Talking about under 18 girls and boys. Let's look at the handball championship for under 21. And it was also a good day for Lagos that defeated, of course, they defeated the Suleja Shooters 36 points to 25. Then in the boys' final as well, Lagos also winning in that one, 37 points to 33. I'm juggling telling you, this kind of escaped under the radar somewhat, and it took my producer Dumnodi Okota to, get my attention to tell me about this. If unlike what happened last year, it was heralded. Maybe it was the first sport that came out of COVID-19 and the way but this was really all around it. But thanks to him and a couple of other guys, we're able to get these pictures and know about the age grade tournament happening in handball.
Well, post-match interview, Cho was talking about this is completely off election.
Yeah.
People were like, is it because election? He said, no. The most important thing is grassroots, and we've said it over time. And I say it all the time, every or most federation president, when they're running their manifesto, you hear, focus on grassroots. Everyone is grassroots, but most of them don't even do anything else to do grassroots. The best way, he said, personally, he has seen some national team materials. The best way to move, the best way to have a better national team in any sporting event is grassroots sports.
Sure.
I hope the way the Principal Cup is coming back to life, it will generate the next future stars for the national team and for the handball. I think Lagos State showed they prepared well. They wanted to prove that we are the host and we'll pick everything. Even the under 17, under 18 women, girls that they didn't pick, they still won third. And their games, they know how to score well. Their games, everything, over 30 points and all. It shows progress for Lagos and it shows progress for Handball Federation. Yes, it's like they didn't really loud this. Like when they resumed last year, everyone knew about
everywhere,
it.
yeah.
Maybe because they were the first event to start that last year. But now, yes, I think they could do better with their social media. I remember asking them
This
the question.
completely flew under the radar.
I asked a question and it took about 19 weeks before I got the reply. But I later found what I needed thanks to their media officer customers. But I think they can do better with the way they push these events out. People don't really know. We want to know what is happening. Yes, everyone was focused on the Super Eagles, the AFCON, everything, but if there are 10 events going on in the country, let us know. There's nothing wrong in some media guys focusing on. Everyone will not watch football. We have specialties in some places for other. There are basketball analysts, there are handball analysts.
Special beats.
I think they should do more. But for the event in all, I think it was a well-planned, packaged event. It means they have a calendar and they are following through.
All right.
Not added there maybe for sponsorship or whatever. At the end of the day, you didn't do it. So I like that they added it in their calendar and they follow through to the end.
All right, Bolu talked about the Handball Federation President Samuel Sheo. He spoke about a lot of things. Let's just listen to him, his plans, and how happy he is that teams seem to be going in the right direction.
The reason why we keep organizing underage competition is because it is the factory of the Handball Federation of Nigeria. That is where we produce players, that is where we discover young talent, that is where we discover upcoming players and so. And if we must keep feeding the senior national team with talent, then the underage competitions must happen. With the underage competitions, you find out that a lot of people will go back to work, they will go to villages to raise teams, they'll go to local government to raise teams. And when they come here, you begin to see different talents coming out from nowhere. And I already see some national team materials of the future among those young ladies. So we'll keep on organizing the underage championship because we want to develop handball in Nigeria. Our mission is to go back to the grassroots, to begin to select players, to begin to pick players so that we can begin to feed our senior national teams with talent. We have a mission, we have a vision, we are focused on doing what we want to do. I mean, if you go back memory lane, since we came on board, we've been organizing this championship. So for me, it's not about elections. Yeah, there's federation elections this year. I'll keep running my program until the last day I stay in office.
All right, just like Bolu rightly pointed out, he's not thinking about the elections, even though it's close by. He wants to continue with his programs, and hopefully everything will work well for handball and by extension for Nigeria. All right, let's go on and talk about football. The Confederation of African Football has confirmed that the Nations Cup, African Cup of Nations, will be staged in Cameroon from January the 9th to February 6th next year. Patrice Motsepe, one of the first press briefings that he had, quickly let us know who's in charge. Sheriff in town, we're not going to be doing 4 years like a lot of people because they felt the hand of FIFA was in that election. So if FIFA sneezes, Africa is going to catch cold. And Motsepe just quickly said, it's not going to happen that way. But now they've come out to say it's going to be in January. And a lot of people particularly worried the year that you're going to have the World Cup and this issue about European teams always complaining about releasing their players, crucial periods. I don't know. But that's a confirmation. I guess we're back to that club versus country because that's what's going to happen here.
Yep. What a coincidence. They are talking about Africa going to 4 years. And now the same people are talking about Euros going to 2 years.
Yes, and even World Cup coming to 2 years.
Exactly. So, but I like Mosebe made the stand. You can decide to do whatever you want to do.
But
for
here is Africa, yeah.
We run it how we want. But for January, I'm waiting for January because there will definitely be chaos. Look at teams like Liverpool. Two of their, we don't know if they'll be there next season, but as of now, they are still there. Liverpool and Salah leaving the front three of Salah and Mane leaving the front three of Liverpool.
Showing Keita as well.
A huge, and Keita is also there in the middle for that. That would be a huge loss for them. Yes, but it's been like that every year. We hear clocks complain, but when it's time for the event, you have no choice. You have to release them. But overall, I think everyone will have to. It's good that we are all knowing about 8-9 months ahead of time. So whatever plan you have to start planning ahead of time. But one thing is that some players may decide to retire even before the AFCON. Because look at Matip when he was being told you have to go, and he told, okay, I'm retiring from national team. But again, when one player doesn't show up, it's an open door for another player. So there will always be a way out. I understand that it's a peculiar period. We moved to the summer.
You know, that's an interesting discussion. When Platini was UEFA president, he was ready to step on toes and said, if you are actively playing for your clubs, you have no right to say that you have retired. He was targeting players like Philipp Lahm, who at that time was at the height of his career, did well for Bayern, but just said, look, I'm not playing for Germany anymore. That's interesting. And one other issue that has been causing a lot of chaos, the testing for COVID, has become a weapon. It's been weaponized by a lot of countries, and CAF is also looking at that. CAF acknowledges that it has become a problem, and CAF is saying maybe they're going to work with the World Health Organization, and the fact that the host team is the one doing all those tests is a bit problematic. Then they're going to work with the WHO and see how to work around those. We have the little matter of Sierra Leone and Benin Republic. It's generated a lot of controversy and so many other issues like that.
It's becoming the new norm in Africa. I remember, I think same thing happened to either Rivers or Enyimba when they went away and two of their key players suddenly...
Was it not Plateau United had something like that as well?
At home, they tested negative. About a day or two later, positive, then they came back to Nigeria, suddenly it was off. And another report says the Iwobi positive result was also not true, but there was no confirmation until he came back and tested it. But the way I don't know, it's match commissioner, CAF, everyone together, because if Benin Republic refused to come out to play and they were there, and CAF decided, okay, let's postpone, that's a precedent. It will happen again. And the other team, whoever it happens to, will remind you that, but you postponed another game.
When this happened.
So I think CAF should have stopped host countries from testing themselves. Even you required working with the WHO, like they said, to be doing, because we have so much foul play in Africa here that we just find the best ways to make sure we win. And it happened. Fortunately, Nigeria, I'm not saying the Iwobi thing was false, but it looks like it was. It's questionable. Now it went down to 5 to 6 players tested positive. Suddenly, a day or two after they tested negative in their country. I think CAF should have stepped in long ago. Now they've stepped in, yes, but it's not even confirmed they work with WHO until it's time to play. That's when we'll know if the host nations are the ones that will be. But fortunately, Nigeria don't play such games.
No, we're very gross.
We give you the best treatment, the best. Look at when they got to Benin Republic. Suddenly, the floodlights were not working. But the following day of the game, about an hour or two before the game, the floodlights were on. And when Lesotho came here, they trained well, nothing is stopping. So I think it's good we are working this way. Let's just continue our own. Let them do whatever they decide to do.
All right, so CAF trying to sort things out. All right, let's leave football for a while and talk about the Olympics. Let's talk about the torch relay has continued. Need some mild drama, a little bit of confusion. But of course, that torch relay has passed through Nagano, one of the prefectures in Japan. Amid confusion whether some stages would have to be cancelled, you know, because of COVID-19, a whole lot of issues. So some of the things that would have been done, some you know, in some places, there's the thoughts that, look, probably just cut some of this to make it easier. So the organizers are looking at what they can do. Probably skip some places, skip some of these rituals, and we'll see. But of course, when you see this, you know the Olympics is going to happen, surely.
Yeah.
And this will take 4 months, but I'm very sure they're going to find ways to reduce where the torch goes.
And again, my worry now is I hope all the athletes would use their head. Because if Japan would decide to host at the end of the day, like Riley said, it looks like it's happening. Before last year, when all the starting started, there was nothing like the torch relay. They were hoping. but unfortunately, they couldn't hold. Now they started the touch relay about 3-4 months. They will run around the entire city, but again, they may cut some things. They're not. The event will now happen. Athletes stay here. That's when you hear one wrestler decide
to a
to stroll to one
nightclub.
place or everything. But again, I like the spirit of the IOC. They know what is at stake cancelling the event this year, because if it doesn't happen this year, that's game over until the 3 years from now. So I like their hustle, I like their faith, I like their belief that no matter what happens, let these events go on. Let's continue step by step. Hopefully by then, 112 days is far, but at the same time, before you say Jack Robinson, it's here already. So let's see what happens. I really want to watch the Olympic Games this year.
We all do. A confirmation for you at the bottom of your screen. All things being equal, 112 days from today, we should be having the Tokyo Olympics. 2020 to be held in 2021, but it's still the Tokyo Olympics anyway, so interesting. So hopefully all things will work well. The organizers and the International Olympic Committee doing everything in their power to ensure that everything works well, okay, amid all the confusion caused by COVID-19. All right, still talking about Olympics, let's talk about the bid for the 2030 Olympics. And in spite of politics, in spite of what is happening, it appears like North and South Korea can actually sit down. And in times past, we've seen them present a unified team. But I'm not sure, if my memory serves me right, that they've jointly hosted an event. So they're looking at it now, 2030, they're trying to put out a bid. And I'm very sure they're using, sports is the vehicle through which some of these things can be done. When diplomacy fails, sometimes you try to use sports, and it could be the vehicle that you can resume talks. Diplomacy can come into it as well. So you have a situation where North Korea and South Korea are considering putting up a bid for 2032 Olympics. It will see Seoul, the capital city of the South, and Pyongyang in the North come together. That border where nobody dares. I don't know how it's going to happen, but it's going to be very interesting.
I think it will be good for both countries as well. There's been talk of settlements between them, but hosting an event together will clear the air that, okay, yes, they may be enemies in the past, but it looks like it's gone. And it will be very beautiful for tourism. Olympics itself, it's all about tourism. Minus the games, the Olympic village. Now, there will probably be Olympic villages. Or who knows, even the border may be the Olympic village this time around. It's good for everyone. Everyone would definitely want to go there. Though some persons never miss Olympic Games. They're now hearing it's a combination of both Korea countries. I think it will... Who knows, it may end up being the Olympic Games with the largest crowd. I wish they can get it. They've been trying to host for a while. Now it looks more like they are pushing harder for it. They have to go farther. Well, 2031 is so far. Hopefully we can get... I really wish they can get it.
And you have stories of families who have not been able to see each other because of all of these things going on. People in the South who have family in the North, people in the North who have family. Maybe this might just be what they are waiting for. And who knows, it can even happen before then. All right, so that's interesting, and we'll see how far... it goes North and South trying to co-host a major sporting event. But before we go on a break, we talked about it. We're done with the Olympics. Let's quickly talk about Cristiano Ronaldo before we go on a break. Cristiano Ronaldo, in a few seconds, because we're going to go on a break now, there's been this argument. Some said he disrespected his country. Some said it was just in the heat of anger. But the coach says, look, he's still our captain, but we've told him what he did was unacceptable.
Well, one thing is, like I said, when you're big, you're big.
Yeah.
That's all about the issue. Because another player
couldn't be dropped.
Nobody would have just talked about it. But if it was someone else, it may not have even made the media. But because it's Cristiano Ronaldo,
I'm going to drag you to this controversy. Did he disrespect his country?
I don't think it was disrespect.
Okay. All right. Bolu is sitting on the fence. All right. I'm not going to say anything. Let's go on a break. When we return from that break, we'll be wrapping up things on the show. We talk about what's happening with Cristiano Ronaldo. We talk about Germany as well, losing to Macedonia in the FIFA World Cup qualifier. That will be after we return from this break.
For a continent rich in storytelling, news can sometimes be hard to find. Network Africa takes you deep into the heart of the continent, covering Africa like no other, with correspondence and analysis from across Africa and the world. Come with us on a journey to Africa as you know it and what it could become. Network Africa, weekdays on Channels Television.
Welcome back, and I want Bolu to clear the air, and I want to understand you. Talk to me like a 4-year-old. I want to understand. You don't feel that what he did was disrespectful. I mean, we said off camera. I mean, a lot of Twitter can be very interesting sometimes when you hear views. Sometimes you get educated, but sometimes you wonder why all the noise. You know, but a lot of people felt that handband represented his country, threw it down in anger and all of that. But in spite of all, your view is that you don't think he disrespected his country.
We've seen players out of anger throw their jerseys away. That has the emblem that has everything with the badge of the nation or the club, wherever. We don't call that disrespect.
So if it had been the jersey, would you have said it was disrespectful?
Again, it's the moment. It's what happened at he could have won the game for the nation.
A colleague, and while we were discussing this in the newsroom, a colleague actually said that you should look at the incident before what he did.
It was not that he had a fight with his manager and he angrily took out the band and everything.
Was it that he was protesting? With the referee? Yeah.
Exactly, he was protesting. He got booked for what we also, and the referee actually apologized after the game. But again, will he be happy to throw the captain out? I think it's just more of what happened in the moment. And the coach also said, we didn't like what he did, but we saw that it happened because of the moment. If he had won that game, and he threw the handband away out in celebration, we would have said he would probably disrespect. But it is what happened. It's the moment. Again, they played another game after that. He scored a goal, and now people are talking about him catching up with Ali Dyer. They've forgotten about
you talked about it, what you just saw. Of course, that handband, that now famous handband, is up for auction, and they're trying to raise funds for a sick child in Serbia. We saw pictures earlier. The Portuguese star, of course, he was denied a goal and led to all of that. That child that you saw with the parents is just 6 months old and suffering from spinal muscular atrophy. Wow. So just 6 months and it's going through all that. So the handband is going to be put to good use. It's up for auction. So we'll see what happens. And humanitarian organization, Together for Life, is looking to raise 2.5 million euros needed for the treatment of this kid.
In the end, they brought out something good out of what looked bad.
Yes.
I'll be happy if Ronaldo himself can just decide, okay, it's mine. Let me just buy it and keep it. And I'm sure whoever buys the band will definitely frame it. Just put it somewhere with maybe a caption of the controversial band or something. But I think it's good, despite all the drama behind the captain's band and everything, now they are putting it to good use.
Good cause.
Thanks to the person who decided to pick it up. Everyone could have left it, maybe swept it to the trash or something, but he picked it up. This is Cristiano Ronaldo's handband. Who wants to buy? We want, and he stated declared, this is what we want to use it for, to raise money for his sick. He could have decided to keep it to himself. He could have decided to maybe auction it for himself, but he wants to use it for a good cause. So I think they will get the money.
All right. Bolu, our parting shot on the show before we leave the studio. What happened yesterday was, it brings us back to these things we talk about. Are there minnows in football? Some would say there are no minnows in football. Some would say, I know where you stand, but did you see that coming? Macedonia beating Germany in Duisburg.
Well, Germany they've been suffering from the World Cup syndrome, the jinx of winning the World Cup. But I don't think it would be that bad losing at home to North Macedonia. But one of the culprits for them in that game was Timo Werner. I don't know what. I saw Timo Werner at Leipzig. I really wanted Real Madrid to sign him even ahead of Harry Kane when the rumor of Harry Kane was big. And suddenly, joint interest and everything went from 100 to 1. But again, hopefully we'll get out of that shadow. But they've lost. Again, the games are still fast, so they may still qualify.
All right, and a certain Goran Pandev, 37-year-old, was able to help Macedonia get past Germany. Well, some will say this is just a blip. The Germans will get over all of this, and we'll see what happens. So we'll see what happens there. But it was an upset, and it's already on the books that North Macedonia defeated Germany. All right, we've crossed the finish line on the show. But first, I want to thank Bolu Omoni for taking time out of his busy schedule to be here.
A little pleasure being around.
All right. So thank you as well for allowing us to be a part of your day. We enjoyed doing this. We're back again tomorrow. I'm Imi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.